Good morning, and this is the next day in our series of traits of high-performing leaders. So day 2, what's emotional intelligence? Do you know? EQ? It's been called quite a few different things, but ultimately it's how you react to things. And as a business leader, as a leader, this is probably one of the most important things that you need to focus on, but also one of the most forgot about things. So let's talk about it. All right, here's what we're talking about today. Emotional intelligence, leadership principle number 2. A great coach that I use that I've had for many years, and I've actually heard this from several coaches. This is one of the first things that are measured. One of the first things that's measured when somebody gets into coaching is what is your emotional intelligence level? Why? Because this determines how you are going to impact other people. Can you handle yourself? And therefore, can you handle other people's emotions? Do you even recognize what their emotions are telling you? It's a great question because a lot of people run around in this bubble kind of looking inward and they don't recognize what is going on with other people. If you don't recognize what's going on with other people, you can never influence them to do the things that need to be done from the leadership perspective. Especially like if you're part of a team and you have zero emotional intelligence, you're not gonna be able to lead those people on that team. Fact, okay? So let's talk a little bit about this. What's one of the key aspects of being a leader? It's being able to control your emotions. It's okay to have emotions, it's okay, but you gotta control them. What does that mean? Anger, frustration, lashing out, getting really upset. Have you seen leaders have outbursts, just throwing stuff around and flipping tables over? And I'm trying to make a point. You know what the point is you're making? You're making a point that you can't control your emotions. That's what the point is. You know, the I'm going to bully my way into this leadership position does not work. Bullying is not a leadership trait, and neither is flying off the handle. So how do we control our emotions? Because those are one extreme perspective of it. You can't have zero emotion. You have to care. You have to care. So what's emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is defined loosely as how you recognize and leverage yours and other people's feelings and how you leverage this knowledge and behavior to manage relationships and decisions. There are tons of studies on this, tons of studies. And if you don't go and reflect on those, you're not going to constantly be up to speed on remembering how you need to act, because this is also one of those things that goes away quick. In fact, one of the most prevalent issues with COVID is people's frustration levels, okay? All you gotta do is turn on the news and instantly it cranks up your blood pressure, cranks up your frustration level, and you stop thinking about your emotions and other people's emotions and you get frustrated and you start saying and doing things you wish you hadn't, right? So you gotta think about this. This will help you or hurt you. This is probably the largest impactful aspect to your leadership. The largest. Because if you can't get past this, you can't get to anything else. So how do you regulate your emotions? Here's a 5-step process here. And there are many processes. This is not the only process. Ultimately, what it boils down to is recognize and regulate. Recognize and regulate. So the first part of this is self-awareness. Take notice. What are your emotions? What are the emotions of others? You should never come from a position of fear or anger as a leader. Okay? Never come from a position of fear or anger as a leader. If you have to turn around, take a couple of deep breaths, go meditate in a corner, whatever it might be, do that. But never come from a position of fear or anger as a leader. Okay? So self-awareness is the first one. Self-regulation is the second part. Assess and align. Assess your emotions, assess the emotions of the others, and align. Come alongside them. If somebody's sad, care. If somebody's upset, care. Love. Understand. But don't fight against Align. Alignment doesn't mean crashing into. Alignment means coming alongside and helping by being part of the solution, by caring. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Remember that? That's an important one. And that has to do with emotional intelligence. Third one, motivation. Channeling energy to reach goals. Channeling energy to reach goals. Let's recognize, align, and then energize. Okay? So think about that. And then empathy, paying attention to others' reactions. How do they react? Do they react with fear? Do they react with love? Because ultimately, those are the two ways that they're going to react. And you should always be kind of interjecting that love, that caring, that display of emotional intelligence into that conversation. And then the last one is social skills. Social skills, mostly communication. Knowing when to say something and knowing when not to say something. Knowing when to ask as opposed to talk. Some important social skills. So remember these 5 things: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. So here's the ultimate thing to remember. You want to raise the level of impact, of productivity, of outcome that you have as an organization, because leaders that exhibit great emotional intelligence, that focus on emotional intelligence, build businesses that are 20 to 30 times more impactful. And this has as much as 20 or 30 times more impact on your company. So think about this. If you have no emotional intelligence, you're dropping your business by a third. Crazy, huh? If you interject emotional intelligence and it's strong and it's part of your machine, your team of well-honed, effortful people, and we're going to talk about that more in the future, a third more effective, minimum. Think about that. So the key here is to get out of your head and heart and recognize what's in the heads and hearts of others. Get out of your head and heart and recognize what's in the heads and hearts of others. So think about that. That's leadership principle 2 for this week. This is a 6-part series, emotional intelligence. I love all the faces on those eggs because it makes you think of all the different emotions that they're going through, doesn't it? And we got to watch eyes right now. Watch eyes, because that will tell the face. You can't see people's faces right now if they're wearing a mask. Watch their eyes, listen to their heart. Okay? That's what I got for you today. Be safe, be well, be strong. Love you guys. Thanks for all you do. Let's have an emotionally intelligent day. Have a great day. See ya.